worried about shelters. They are worried that they may not actually be prepared for an outbreak.
It's a petri dish where when people are so close together, when the beds are like 3 feet apart, it's not safe.
No, people are supposed to stay in. I don't see how that's possible.
With a record number of Americans out of work, thousands of people are lining up outside distribution centers all across this country just to feed their families.
When there's a global pandemic, people still need to eat.
There are a lot of people asking, where will my next meal come from?
When you compound poverty, when you compound the systemic racism, and then you're looking at what's happening with the pandemic, it's not a surprise, unfortunately, that these things are happening for us.
While this time introduces innumerable unknowns for everyone, some of the trends we are seeing are decades old. Income, wealth, access to food, and healthcare are all pieces of an intricate web of systemic inequality in this country, and this pandemic has only emphasized these issues. The similarities between homeless and low-income communities of America's past and present are shocking. The unemployment rate is nearing the 25% of the Great Depression. Death tolls of minorities and otherwise disadvantaged communities resemble those of the 1918 Spanish flu epidemic. And homelessness is on the rise just as it was during the Great Depression and the 2008 financial crisis.
And I was sort of saying, well, how come there are so many people? How come every week or every month or 2 weeks or whatever, you're feeding so many people? And people said, well, they just don't have the same safety net that, say, you would have in a European country. Questions of why, the United States, one of the richest countries in the world, doesn't do these things. And it's something to do with the way America was, the country was founded, I think, and the nature of the people who founded the country and what they wanted and the independence they wanted and the individualism they wanted, and they didn't want the state telling them what they should be doing or how they should be spending their money. I do have a hard time thinking, well, why isn't the state or the government or whatever, the local government, doing more for these people? Mm-hmm. But I think that taps into something very historical that many people in the United States aren't particularly interested in doing.
It's scary to see how little has really changed since the early 20th century, and how easy it is to forget the lessons that past crises taught us. It's easy to lose hope in this country and its government during a time like this, but this pandemic has also shown the strength we have to mend these issues together.
The cathedral, along with many other churches and other faith traditions, partner with other organizations locally to support those in the community through a variety of our social justice ministries. One of those ministries is Martha's Table, and one of the programs Martha's Table has is to feed homeless people. They do that every evening, 365 days a year. They operate McKenna's Wagon out of Martha's Table, and that delivers a hot meal, sandwiches and fruit to a couple of locations downtown. And these are sort of well known, and that's where people who are food insecure gather to receive free food.
This is how I chose to help, but there are dozens of other ways to assist your community. The following organizations are either based in the DMV or have offices located in DC, and could currently use help through volunteers, donations, or helping to reach local and national government officials.